Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? Just before we get started, make sure you can hear and see me. We're experimenting a little bit by using a lav mic instead of like a big, oh, look at, he wants under the blanket and I can't really, I can't really do what I normally do where I like lay back and I make a tent and he likes to go in there and hang out. Oh my goodness, look at you. I love him so much. I talk about that every time he's on camera. But he's just my little baby. Let's see, where is everybody? Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, I am ridiculously excited for this live stream. I'm not even exactly sure why. I just feel like I'm super happy. I have so many fun things to chat about and so many fun projects that are sort of in the works. Oh, I know you didn't get to go under the blanket. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. Can you guys hear him like purring? He's like the loudest purrer. Okay, let's see. Hello from Nashville. Hi, Jana. Hello from Boston. Oh, Mia, you made it. Hello. Ooh, St. Louis. Christine, hi. Let's see. And hello in New Jersey. Hello. Where is McAllen? Andreas. I love that name, by the way. That's a name I've always really liked. Say hello from Arkansas. Hi, Jessica. This is one of my favorite parts. I feel like is it Shelley Winters and Lamb Chop? Like I don't know what this is Lamb Chop right now. Let's see. Hello from Alberta, Canada. Kim. Kim, what time does it get dark there? Because it gets dark here so early and you're higher up, I think. I could be wrong about that. I think it depends on where you are in Canada. Let's see. Quebec, Canada. Oh, hello. Oh, Jennifer from Sweden. Hi. What time is it in Sweden right now? It's all snowy outside. And, you know, obviously in wintertime here, sometimes it's real icky looking. And then once in a while, it'll do this like magical, like snow globe snow. And that's what's happening outside right now. It's really, really fun. Happy winter from Northern Cal. Hi, Amy. Your winter is, I'm assuming, much milder and more pleasant than it is here. Let's see. Hello from Binghamton. Tammy, hi. I'm not sure if I've been to Binghamton. I think I keep talking about going there and I haven't done that yet. Hello from down the road, Sheridith. Hi. I don't know. We had a car accident out on the street, just like I think like a couple days ago, and we have cameras all over the place and it caught footage and it looked like somebody had gotten run over and he was okay. But they had to like shut down the two streets for almost, I think, the whole day. And they dimmed our power while they were like making the repairs. And so it looked like the whole house was lit by candlelight. And the captive said it was like they put our whole house on a dimmer, which was kind of funny. And then when it turned back on, it was like, oh my gosh, you felt like you were like in a Walmart or something. Oh, look at you. Oh my gosh, we're just getting hair all over the place. I just like washed and ironed the sheets this morning to make them all like fancy and clean because this is the actual bed that I sleep in for the most part. And I have not been feeling very well. Let's see, I don't even know where to begin because we've got so many things to tackle. The first is, like I mentioned in the email, I got summoned to jury duty and like, I don't know, I don't always go to those. Like sometimes it depends on like how crazy things are. I usually like try to get like delays or whatever. But this one I was like, well, you know, whatever. It's like I'm new to this area. It was the first one I had gotten here. And I was like, I should go to that. And so before going to that, obviously we had had Christmas and we had had all sorts of other things going on, but I had not left the house in a month. Like I was working on, basically I've been editing episodes. Oh, let's see. I'm obsessed with Professor Poof. I don't know how much you can see of him, but I was just talking to my mom. Professor Poof, You know how like you hear stories of people that are like in the hospital and they're kind of like dying and they're getting ready to sort of pass over and they start talking about like seeing relatives in the room and they're sort of like living in this sort of in between state of existence. He lives in that state perpetually. And you never really get the sense that he's like fully present or fully here. And it's very, very funny. He's difficult. He's a difficult cat to like look at you like with focus. He's just kind of between worlds, I think. Let's see. Oh, wait, let's see. Yes to the in-between states. I'm a death worker. Rachel, we should have like an interview thing because a death worker, I want to know what that entails. And I bet you guys all do too. Rachel, see if you can email me like directly because I do want to chat about that. That sounds really interesting. Lights on, no one's home. That is Professor Poof. Someone came, my friend Matt came from the antique store and he was like, he's like in low power mode. And like, that's pretty much him all the time. And then Archimedes is in like Pharaoh mode all the time. Like he just thinks we are here to serve him and please him and feed him. And I mean, really, like we are. So it's not, he's not like misreading the room. Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what was I talking about? I had not left the house in a month because I had, let me think, what, I'm sort of discombobulated. I'm doing a whole bunch of different things right now, and I'm kind of trying to like line up all of my ducks. There's literally like his hair going all over the place. So I edited 2 episodes that are this month's and next month's episode, and those are the drapery episodes. They came out really beautiful. They're a little like on the technical side, so I don't know if they're like my most exciting episodes, but if you ever want to do what I'm doing in the episode, you should be able to like sort of suss it out based off of what you see there. And that was really what I wanted to do, was make really genuinely useful episodes that people could watch and like go, oh, that's how you do that. So in addition to, once I finished those, I immediately wanted to start on the next projects because I've got a whole bunch of things that I'm getting into. And so for that reason, I hadn't left the house. Oh, and the wallpaper came. The wallpaper got printed, it showed up, and then we had to like ship it out. And so that was fun. And then I got called to jury duty. And I was like, oh, I hadn't left the house in a month. And I was like, I am getting dressed up. Like I'm like so ridiculously dressed up because I don't know, I think that's fun to do. So I did that and it was, I don't even know, it was maybe like just a couple degrees. It was obscenely cold when I went. And everybody was so nice. And I don't know what I can say. The trial is ongoing. I didn't get picked. But I didn't want to get picked either because, let's see, I have so much to get done here and the trial could take up like, I don't know how long they can take. I think they can take like, they said like 2 weeks, but I feel like I've heard of trials going on much longer. And I really didn't have the time for that. So I did tell them, I was like, I kind of have like a lot of work going on. And they were like, whatever, get in the box. And they like put me, it was like the process was called voir dire, which is, I actually know that from Helter Skelter and all those like true crime books. And so they were like going through like asking, and it was a murder trial. And they asked me, I didn't really like the defense attorney. I just, you know, sometimes people say certain things and I don't know. He rubbed me the wrong way. And it was like involving like a gun. And he was going around like from juror to like asking questions. Oh yeah, Jana, it was a murder trial. And I'll say more about it, I think, next month when it's over, because I can give you like details, because I have an opinion. But basically, I'm trying to think. He came up, he like went through and he's asking me questions, and I was telling him, you know, like I've got like a lot of work to get done for what I do. And he's like, well, what if we like forced you? And this was the defense attorney that wasn't very nice. He's like, well, what if we forced you to come? And I was like, I don't think you'd want me on this jury. And he's like, oh, and why is that? And I was like, well, I'm really against guns. And so I said that. What I didn't follow that up with is that I'm very pro axe and like all sorts of other like fun tools, but like guns just seem like a easy way out. I don't know. So I didn't want to make a mockery of the system. So I just sort of kept my mouth shut, but they released me and I wasn't picked. So then, so I had to go for like 2 full days basically. And it was, Kate said, hashtag pro axe. Um, what was I going to say? So then it was over. It was fun. I got to get all dressed up and then I came back to like basically look like a turnip. And I immediately was going to start working when I got like a tickle in the back of my throat. And I was like, oh no, I really just don't ever get sick. It's really, really, really uncommon. And especially like considering I hadn't left the house in like a month. Like I said, I don't go anywhere or anything. Um, and that was one evening. And then by the next day, I was like, oh no, I know what's happening. This is going to be COVID. And it took like a couple days for the test to like register that that's what it was. But I'm trying to think. So now I've got COVID. I can't really like, I don't want the captive to be like filming me work. And so he gets sick too. And so we are kind of like trying to keep our distance a little bit. Um, and I got pretty sick, but at the same time, I'm I'm just not somebody who can lay around. I just am. I'm not that kind of person. If I was dying of cancer, I'd probably be like mending the pillowcase in like hospice care or something. So I went over to one of the rooms. And so I can tell you, okay, is one of your cats snoring? That's Pooh. We set this whole thing up this morning and he's just been here all day. He hasn't gone anywhere. Um, I think I got distracted. Oh, let me make some tea. Although I'm kind of like pinned. Let me see if I can do this. The captive was like, keep your tea away from the computer because who knows what could happen. Oh. I like how Archimedes is just like slowly watching it with, if he watches the milk. The milk. Okay, so let's see. Is that a real painting above your head? Jessica, let me tell you, not only is it a real painting, but it's a painting of one of the women who lived in this room. This was her bedroom. And so it was in like a really icky frame when I moved in. I didn't know who it was. It was when Colin Shepherd came to the house and he's like, oh, that's my mother. And I hadn't thought anything about it. All I saw was like a really terrible looking frame. And so once I found that out, I went and got like a really amazing frame. And now it's like, this is part her room. Let's see. Catherine says, wow, your hair looks great. Hi, Catherine. Catherine's my mom. Hi, Mom. I'm still not, by the way, totally all right. I had like unreal sinus pressure. Like I couldn't pop my ears. It was so my whole head just felt like it was like a balloon about to pop. And so that's probably why my hair looks big. Um, see, I've been eyeing those sconces. I got them at like a thrift store. I think they're like plaster made to look like wood. I love all the kitty tchotchkes. So Carissa, this is basically going to be the Siamese room where it's going to be just cat themed everywhere. I'm going to do like cat wallpaper. That's going to be really fun. Oh, Leslie says, I'm battling a bad sinus headache. Oh no, Leslie. It's not fun. Luckily, if you have like a good like true crime something to listen to and you can fiddle and do something. So let me get back to what I was talking about. So I have a gigantic list of things that I want to be tackling this coming year. And am I going to get to all of them? I don't know. But I have one of them is I'm going to turn, there's a room over on the other side of the house called, we call it the bird room because there's birds that were painted in a frieze around the top. And I'm going to be turning that room into basically a craft room where I sew. No plow is going by. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Anyway, so it's going to be this cheerful, beautiful, like really light, happy, nice room. And when I say light, I mean like it's going to be like aged antique looking, but it's the only room in the house where all the trim has been painted. And so it's going to look very like cheerful and fun. And we're going to go through it together where I'm going to completely restore this room and turn it into a beautiful, fun crafting space that will be also like the backdrop to like a bunch of episodes that will be coming. And I like need something like that because I sort of the whole house is my office right now, and I need like somewhere where certain kinds of projects are sort of like focused. And so like sewing, um, an episode I want to tackle, hopefully within this year, is making my own stationery and then having it printed somewhere. So I'm going to be designing all of that. Something else I'm going to be tackling is a friend lost a kitty, and I'm actually going to be making two um, urns for ashes for like a beloved pet. And so someone is someone else I know, and then one person is a friend of mine who both lost like kitties they love. And so in tandem, I'm going to make two like urns, and I'm sort of still sort of experimenting with how I'm going to do that exactly. But they're going to be beautiful and really kind of unique and strange. So I shouldn't say strange. They're just going to be really awesome. So ceramics, they are going to, Abigail, they are going to be, I need to get like a kiln and like do all sorts of experimenting before I get started, but we're going to be getting into that kind of stuff. So I'm excited. Now you might have noticed on, what was it, the post announcing this live stream, that I included a picture of like a mantle and like a little section sort of that had been like I'd stripped away. So that's what I was doing while I was sick. And so I like set up cameras and I just like worked and worked and worked, and I used like all these paint strippers to pull off. So obviously, like, so in the room I'm in right now, there's a fireplace and it's been painted. And I'll bet it's got as many layers as this did. This fireplace had been painted at least 4 times. The first time they had I'm assuming they had an artist come in and do this. And they did a marbling. So they made it look like dark burgundy and green marble. And as you're stripping, like it's disintegrating before your eyes. So you only get like this window period of time to see what it looked like. And it was so neat. I filmed it, so it's going to be in this episode that I'm describing. They did a faux marbling technique that you can't find anywhere online. So I was like, how did they do that? So I was like, oh, let me go on YouTube and see what people do. And what people do is like a shadow of what this looked like. This looks like legitimate marble. It doesn't look like somebody went through and like painted streaks. I don't know what it looks like, but it looks legitimately like stone. And so as I was like stripping layers, I was like, oh my gosh, look at this like emerald green, like marble. And then as I kept like trying to clean that off, suddenly the green started going away. And I was like, oh. And anyway, so basically what it got down to was this beautiful marble that I had to go around the entire, obviously the mantle, strip all of it off. I wore a respirator the whole time. And then once I had gotten it all off, big sections of the marble was stained, like because the first coat of paint that they had done was this like dark maroon kind of color. And I was like, Well, I mean, it's marble. I love that it's marble. It looks pretty kind of rough. And then I started researching on like what can you do to get rid of? Oh wait, did somebody say maybe a stencil? I don't think it was a stencil. So you know how they used to do like um, swirls of paint on water for old books? Like if you open old books, they've got like all of these bizarre kind of swirls and strange like shapes. I'm describing that very bad. It almost looks like a cappuccino that like somebody swirled in a bunch of different ways. Um, it almost looks like they did some version of that where they might have put something clear on the top of a surface of water and pulled a pattern and stuck it. That is a guess. I have, it's not even an educated guess because I don't know what I'm talking about. But I couldn't figure out how they had done what they had done. And so when this video goes up, maybe you guys can tell me this is how they did that because for the life of me, I can't figure it out. But anyway, so now I've got this stained mantle. I didn't know what to do. And so, hold on. Kelsey says, I'm late, but hello from Redding, California. I've never been able to be here while you're live. I feel accomplished today. Kelsey, I'm so glad you're here. Hello. Okay, aqua dip. Jessica, I don't know what is, that sounds right. So that's my guess. So anyway, so then I took hydrogen peroxide and baking soda and I like made like a mush and I stuck it all over it. And I did that over and over and over and over again over a period of like 4 or 5 days. And it just about lifted it all off. So the marble looks beautiful. And now I have to like polish it. This wasn't even going to be anything I was going to do in the room, by the way. Like I'm doing something else in the room to the walls and the floor. I'm keeping the birds, obviously. I'm not touching that. But what was I going to say? Oh, Poof moved out of the shot. I wish you could see what Poof looks like right now because he looks like a little ball of cute fur. Anyway, so if you have marble in your house that is stained or anything like that, hydrogen peroxide and I just said it, baking powder, not baking powder, baking soda. Baking soda. You mix those together and it takes like hours and you might have to do it multiple times, but it pulls just about anything out of marble. And I tried everything else and nothing else was doing it. The house has many mysteries to reveal. It completely does. It is so fun, which by the way, so this is a room that like, there's a frieze that's hand painted birds that was done by one of the original daughters of the house. So obviously I'm not touching that. And then below the frieze, it was painted blue, but under that it had been painted originally at the time that the birds had been put in. Kind of like this, I don't know what you'd call it, like cappuccino, beigey brown, kind of Tuscan looking. Anyway, so it was paper that was put on the wall, some sort of like fabric. So I ended up pulling that off and I did find a little patch of an older wallpaper, but it was ugly. So I won't be recreating it and I'll show it in the episode. But that is sort of the thing. If I ever come across something that I'm just like, ugh, I won't recreate anything that I don't think looks nice. So, but I'm going to preserve it. I was able to get this little section off the wall and I'm going to seal it so that not ugly. I love anything old. So if I say it's ugly, it means like, ugh, like it was not good. Chunk, where's my baby going? He's been hanging out with me like so much lately. Oh, he had to eat. The vet asked us to like sort of just feed him like occasionally, like twice a day. And he gets so pitiful. I don't know. The question, what's the best way to remove old wallpaper? It depends. Do you care what's on the wall underneath it? Are you trying to preserve anything? Or are you just trying to get it off? Because if you're just trying to get it off, and sometimes if it's really old, you can just peel it off and then you wash the glue away. But if it's not coming off and you don't care about it and you don't care about what's underneath it, honestly, just water. Water will release anything. They have like those steam things. It's messy and it takes forever. I'm not going to pretend like it's easy. Let's see. What is in the middle of the bed? It is a little lamp. I can see if I can look at that. So it's like a little reading lamp that I have. I like recovered it. It's an antique. It's got like a little doll on top, like holding a parasol. Okay. Oh, you're just trying to get it off. Yeah. Honestly, that's been my experience, is just moisture will remove it, but it's a pain to do. Does anybody have any questions before I just keep blathering on? Mom. He looks so cute. I was thinking of doing something for like to like add a little extra like bonus, or I think it was like going to be probably the second tier and up, is maybe making a folder once a month of just like fun pictures from my phone, because I take pictures constantly, and it would be just like progress photos of like what I'm working on that month, silly pictures of the pets, or just kind of anything that pops in. So if you guys would like to see that, let me know. And maybe that could be something that I can work into our monthly treats. Let's see. Are you keeping the P.O. box? 100%. So we have that like, what was it? It's like P.O. Box 666. I did not pick that. The post guy that we love so much did it as like kind of to be funny, but it's like hysterical. So yes, I'm keeping that post office box. Have you watched Poor Things? I don't know if I mentioned that I never leave the house. So no, but I really, really want to. Is it good? Let's see. Oh my gosh, Jessica asked for about the voodoo dolls. Do I have homes for the voodoo dolls yet? Not yet, because that is getting sick kind of like threw me off of my like agenda for the month. So I still need to stage and photograph and film everything, and because I have like a little project I plan on doing with them. So now I should be doing that this coming month. Thought I was going to do it this month, but things happened that kind of ate up my time. But that is coming, so that's not done. Let's see. When is the post about the dolls? Oh, I just talked about that. I loved Saltburn. Let's see. Manifester? Ooh, I like that. I loved that movie. It was really fun. I loved the dance scene at the end. Call me weird. Okay, so yes, Poor Things. Oh, if you didn't live in a big haunted house, where would you prefer to live? Let's talk about that. Let me see if I can put this down. I'm sitting in such a way that my leg is starting to fall asleep. Oh my God, that feels so much better. You would think doing a live stream from bed would be the most comfortable thing on earth, but you know, it can be a little bit tricky. Murder on the Dance. I love that song. And that guy is so cute, the guy who dances in Saltburn. I didn't think he was cute at first. And then I was like, you keep watching it, and like, I'm not going to give anything away about the movie, but anyway. So by the end of the movie, I was like, he's adorable. Okay, so let me think. So you asked if I didn't live in a spooky house, where would I live? So we have to get a winter retreat house. I've talked about so obviously I grew up in California, Southern California. And so the only way you could tell the seasons were changing is like my parents had like a jacaranda tree that like bloomed at certain times of the year. So it's like some times of the year would be greener than others, but it all just kind of looked the same. It was really and so I was so excited to like move somewhere where there's all of these like seasonal changes. And everybody told me about the winters. They're like, oh, why would you do that? The winters are so brutal. Well, they weren't lying. They are so terrible, and they go on for so long. And I like the Christmas part of it. And so anyway, we are going to be getting like a snowbird house basically, and I'm not exactly sure where yet, but somewhere where it is warm enough that I can walk around in normal clothes in January. And so anyway, I was actually going to talk to you guys about that. I'm torn between what kind of house it would be. It wouldn't be very big, but I would love to either get like a Tudor style, like kind of fairy tale-ish looking cheerful place, or like go in like a Golden Girls direction and like actually like furnish it and dress it kind of like almost like the Golden Girls set, but just like a little bit of my version of that. Which would you want to see more? Like a Tudor style, fairy tale-ish kind of cottage or Golden Girls? Because I'm sort of on the fence about it. I'm not really sure. I like both of them so much. Tudor is my favorite. I love Tudor houses. Dita Von Teese has like this unbelievable looking Tudor house, and it looks just straight out of like Snow White. Fairy tale, Tudor. See, I'm that's where I'm leaning more towards is the Tudor house. The problem is there's tons of the Golden Girl houses out there, and there's hardly any of the fairy tale Tudor looking ones. Ooh, can we do a spooky Golden Girls house? Rachel, I'm not sure how I would do that, but I love that idea. I'm sure I could pull it off. I'm sorry if I'm still sniffly. My brain is still leaking, I think. Um, okay, so I've put my leg here for long enough. Ugh. Let me get up and move around a little bit. Oh, sit on my leg. Much better. Okay, Zombie Golden Girls. Okay, that's just a movie. They need to figure out a way, like you hear all of this AI stuff. If they could make a movie of the Golden Girls cast and you couldn't tell, and then they did like a zombie spin-off of that, I would be there on opening day, basically. Okay, can you someday film a seance? Joseph? So we have a room that is going to be the seance room. It's the, I guess you'd call it the cupola or the widow. We call it the widow's walk, even though it's not technically a widow's walk. Anyway, that's going to be a seance room. And so when we do that, of course, we're going to film it. We'll do some off camera because I have a theory that if you have any electrical stuff going on, it like messes it up. Okay, I know you're trying to get under there so badly. Are you? I hope you're not showing your little behind to people. Oh, look at you. He hangs out with me so often. I've said I'm not really sure that he likes me very much, but lately he does seem to be like hanging out with me constantly. Florida has many patches of style called Cinderella houses. I'm gonna look that up. Anytime I mention Florida to the captive, he's like, there's gonna be alligators that eat our dogs. And so I don't know what the risk factor is there. But I like alligators, so I don't want them to eat my dogs, but let's see. Any fun trips planned? I don't have any. I'm so excited about projects that I have lined up that I've kind of been trying to like focus on getting a whole, I'm like ahead. I'm more ahead than I've ever been before. Like I said, I have the January and February episodes done, which by the way, January's episode is coming out most likely tomorrow, possibly Tuesday. It'll probably be tomorrow unless something happens. And so anyway, and so then I have next month's episode done already. And so now I'm not stopping working. I'm just going to keep working to see if I can get as many things done as possible. And it's going to be awesome. Like I said, I have a bunch of different kinds of things that I'm going to be getting my fingers into this year. And I'm just like super, super excited about all of it. Okay, Southern California looks nice. Is it okay? Oh wait, South Carolina. What is our opinions? Does anyone here live in South Carolina or Georgia? And what do you think of them in like January and February? When does it get green down there is kind of what I want to know. How about renewing vows with the captive? If I were to do something like that, it would be so dark and creepy and weird. Maybe when he dies, I don't know. That only spawns terrible ideas for me and nothing good. Okay, so yes, Somerville, South Carolina, it's perfect. Interesting. My friends moved to South Carolina from LA and they love it. Melissa, thank you so much for that information. Jekyll Island in Georgia. Isn't that right by Savannah? I think I've driven through there, but that's all I know about it. I don't want to spend a gazillion dollars because like this house is sort of where I want to invest the most. So it's not going to be like anything like bananas. It's just going to be like a fun, obviously much smaller, something cute and interesting. And preferably with a swimming pool. It would be really nice. I've never had a swimming pool my whole life. I've like only ever had like a friend or two who had a swimming pool. So I've never been able to just like go swimming in a pool by myself while being at home. Who here has a swimming pool? I'm coming to your house if you do. But you have to heat it first. Let's see, a hot tub too, absolutely. Oh, it is about 30 minutes from Savannah. Interesting. Let's see. A swimming pool bigger than the house? That sounds incredible. My building has a pool. That counts. I was just reading. I wasn't reading. I was listening to the podcast Dirty John. I'd never heard it. Um, and it takes place in Orange County, where I actually lived for kind of like my early 20s. That's where I met the captive. And so anyway, it's a really interesting story. I don't want to say anything in case you haven't heard it, but you should listen to it. If you like My Favorite Murder and all those other things, again, I'm like the last person who's catching on to any of this stuff. So this is like several years old, I believe. But it's called Dirty John and it's way interesting. There's a TV show of Dirty John too. Yes, it's on Netflix. So is it Kiki? Kiki, yes. So you can also watch it on Netflix. I liked the audiobook because or the podcast. I don't know why. Let's see. The show version is very, very good. Okay, well then maybe I need to rewatch or watch it as a show. Let's see. I'm in Atlanta and I have been in Georgia for 25 years. Leah, what do you think of it there? I'm in Atlanta. So obviously you must like it. I do get like seasonal affective disorder and I had obviously never experienced that before and it's terrible. We're so high up that it gets dark here way earlier. And during like the months of January, February, and even March, I feel like they tend to be the worst. And I would love to just, as soon as Christmas is over, just disappear. And I come back like at the beginning of like May or something like that when it gets incredible. And so that way you don't have to be down where it gets unbelievably muggy, I believe. It gets muggy here too, but not very ladylike. I'm gonna have to. Oh, I've got a horrible tickle in my throat. Okay, how about land and building? Hold on. Sorry if I'm coughing right into this thing. Let me pause this and cough really quick. Hold on. Okay, I think I'm back. My eyes are all watering. I'm not at all 100% yet, and I got like sick for like, it lasted a few weeks, which was really like not fun. Um, I'm trying. She lives. I'm still here. Um, what are you guys looking forward to, if you don't mind me asking? I know it's kind of, I think it's a good time of year to sort of plan out what you have going on for the remainder of the year, or like, it's a good time to start like strategizing what you're going to be doing. Did you guys see him just, oh my gosh, look at you. I love petting his like chubby little belly. Spooky Valentine's Day recommendations. Um, let's see, KP, it's my birthday. Happy birthday tomorrow. Let's see, I already have plans for Halloween decorations. I do too. And we're gonna see, hopefully I'm able to pull it off this year. I'm crossing my fingers. Let's see. I'm looking forward to taking a class to learn how to turn wood. I'm terrified of that. Let me see. Is it Kimberly? Okay. I'm terrified of lathes. I like, don't look it up. I looked up like an industrial lathe accident, and it's like this thing that like spins basically. And that's how you can like turn wood and do it. I'm super fascinated by it, but after seeing this picture, it looked like they put a person through like that Play-Doh mashing machine that everybody had when we were kids. It's no good. Let's see, the lathe is amazing. I'm terrified of them. I'm actually like, I've had a few incidents with some power tools that like have made me go, I only want to use power tools that you can just turn off instantly. Like, or that like, I think there's a table saw that like, if it like slams, like it stops instantly if it feels like it's touching like a living anything. Let's see, forewarned. Okay. Be careful. I watched this YouTube video of like this beautiful girl turning her some room into like this like Harry Pottery looking cottagey sort of library. It was really cool. I think it was dark academia is what she called it. And she had lost a finger from those power tools. So it might happen. I have no like assumption that I'm going to make it to the grave with all of my fingers, but I sure would like to. Let's see. I want to learn how to weld. I do too. Something else I told my mom I wanted to learn how to do was sculpting away marble and like actually like making marble sculptures. And then I watched all of these videos of people who do it, and their hands looked really rough. And I was like, maybe not. Maybe, maybe I'll just keep modeling things, because I don't necessarily want to do anything that like potentially like damages this thing that I put a lot of effort into like painting and making look as nice as I can. I think that was Nerd Forge. It was. Okay, please be careful. Yes. Whoever's using a lathe, please be very, very careful. Oh, any updates on the roof, Joseph? So that's the other thing. Like I said, stationery, pet urns, craft rooms, Halloween plans. The roof is happening. Hopefully, I think this spring. Like, we have to like firm things up, but when that happens, we're going to film the process. And we're also going to be restoring these like beautiful like finials that used to be on the house and have been gone for like probably 100 years. So I'm going to be sculpting those, getting them back on the house when the roof is done. It's going to make the whole house. We're going to have basically the exterior of the house, if all goes as planned, will look dramatically prettier by the end of the year. Let's see, project idea. Build and carve your own bat house for the yard. I love that idea. I have said this, but oh, look at you. I have said this so many times, but I will die before I do all of the things that I want to do. I'm never ever worried about running out of ideas just because I'm drowning in them. You know what I'm not good at though? Coming up with fast, easy project ideas. I'm never good at that. I get lucky sometimes and create something like really awesome and fast, but that is rare. And by far and away, most of the projects that I come up with like take forever to pull off. But then those are the ones I'm usually like the proudest of. Have I made anything miniature? I mean, I've done gingerbread houses. Like I've done a lot of like cakes that were of things like that, but I haven't made anything like permanent that's miniature. But I do love miniature. Do you guys follow Southern Gothic Doll Houses on Instagram? She makes like miniature houses that look like spooky, like House of Usher looking places. This tickle is interfering with what I have going on here, and it is really annoying me. Let's see. Is this the year we'll see the kitchen renovation? Cecilia, it is not. Because I've mentioned this before, this might be the only time I really fully do a kitchen from scratch. And I have a plan. I need to find like the right architect to do. Is it it's not an architect? Maybe it is. To pull off exactly what I have, because I'm not capable of pulling off something this big by myself. And you can't really just use any builder. You need to find somebody who kind of shares the vision with you, and like their go-to response to like solving a problem if you're not there is to do something that would like not be modern looking, because everyone does modern things because we're living in a modern world. Contractor, that's the word. What did I say? Architect? You guys are talking to a very educated person. Let's see. Minnie Mouse houses. I love that idea. Let's see. Vibe checking carpenters is important. It totally is. And it's difficult to find people. Are you reading any books? Let me see what I've got in my audiobook, because I don't think I listened to anything very good lately. Okay, so let me go. I listened to The Man in the Rockefeller Suit, which was, it was okay. Wait a minute. Did I talk about Project Hail Mary? I think I did last month. That was the last like exciting, wonderful book. So no, I don't have any. The only, I started using Spotify, and the one that I'm listening to right now is called, I really wish that cough would stop. The Root of Evil. And it's about the Black Dahlia case and the family that is basically like the descendants of the person that they think did it. It's actually very, very good. I only started it yesterday. There's a big, huge, beautiful clock over here on the wall. And when I sleep in here, I have to stop it at night just because that would wake me up. Let's see. I'm desperate for a Victorian, and I'm looking for a property upstate. Any advice? There is the most beautiful house. Let me see if I can tell you the address. Something just came on the market. It's expensive, but it's beautiful. Let me see. I sent it to... Okay, the address, if you're interested, is 14 Linden, Linden, Farm Lane in Red Hook, New York. It's this house on a big plot of land out in the middle of nowhere, which I love. And it's gorgeous. They've like cleaned it up. They're kind of like, how can I say this nicely? Somebody bought it a couple years ago for like $200,000 or $300,000, and now they're trying to sell it for $1.2 million. And I'm sure that they did a bunch of work, but $1 million worth of work? I don't know about that. I'm not a like big house flipper person. I like things that I'm doing here, basically, where you get an old house and you restore it as much as you can, and then maybe you live there, maybe you don't. But you actually like genuinely are excited and care about what you're doing. And a lot of like flipping is just sort of like kind of like stripping character and like history out of houses, and I don't like that. I hope I live to do all of the things that I'm planning. It would be an incredibly inconvenient time to die right now. I will tell you that. Sometimes I look at Archimedes and I have to make sure he's breathing because he does kind of this like dead eye stare sometimes. So I have to be careful. Do you have any questions while I try to banish? Oh, I have cookies. Let me try eating a cookie and see if that makes it worse. I'm going to set that right there. It's in my lungs, so I don't know why that would. I don't have a napkin here. Sherry says, it's okay if you can't finish the live stream. I'm doing my best. I'm going to make it. I'm eating the driest cookie on earth. I don't know what I'm thinking. That's very stupid. It is delicious though. Let's see. Have you seen Gunship live? I don't know that they perform live. If they do, oh my gosh, I would in a heartbeat. I was just listening to a bunch of music and working on that room. This was yesterday. And there is like a new Gunship song where they collaborated with somebody. And it's so awesome. And I told the captive, I was like, they are my very favorite band. I was like, I know you like I've said that in the past. There's nobody I like more. Their music just like makes me feel happy. And especially if like you're working while you're listening to it. Gothic Flower Garden. I love that idea. Let's see. Did you rewire your vintage lamps to prevent potential electrical issues? Kitty, the captive, he can fix anything. Did I tell you about the electrician thing and the front porch? I don't know if I talked about that. The front porch light was not working on this house. Stop me if I've talked about this before, but I don't think I have. So I really wanted the front porch light to work. And so we called an electrician. Somebody came out and was like, I don't know what to tell you. I can't find where this is going to. And then somebody else came out and broke the light fixture. And then, so they came, they broke it, they left and sent a $500 bill. And so I was like, I messaged them back and I was like, I'll pay this, but just so you know, like somebody came here and broke it. And the guy that must be the owner of the company called me back, actually came to the house. He's like, let me see it. I'm so sorry. He fixed it. He actually like paid to have the glass fixed. And then he was like, okay. And so I paid the thing. And the front porch light was not fixed. So that was like a bunch of drama for no reason. The captive, he can fix anything. He fixed it. It's so funny. When I was shopping for a husband, you're not like I was in my 20s. You're not thinking about some of the most important things you need to know. And just by some sheer will of luck or just sheer luck, I ended up with somebody who is just like compliments me so well and like is able to do all sorts of things that I A, don't want to do, and B, don't have the knowledge to do. So he does the music. I have no musical talent or skill at all, other than listening. I'm really good at listening to music. He can do all of that, setting up the live stream, doing all of these wires and whatnot. I don't do that. I get made up. I set like everything up. I make sure the lights look nice, and then I do all the physical work on the projects. But when it comes to like knowing the SND with the triple sec and the like plug-in with the router patch, I don't know what any of that stuff is. I'm just making up words. But he knows all of it. He can figure anything out. He's so good that if anything goes wrong anywhere, I know he'll fix it better than anyone you call to come fix it. So I'm just like going on a rant about how wonderful he is. Mr. Fix It. He's just perfect. I really like him. Let's see. I'm single and searching for my own captive. Meet cute. Let's see. what is my advice? I don't have any advice because I do remember, let me think. I remember, do you guys want to hear like a romance story of like the first dinner that I had with the captive? This was the first like romantic dinner. Basically our first date. We were meeting at a restaurant and he was inside and he came out and we like went in together and we like sat and had dinner and I didn't know he's very like serious and kind of quiet and like I don't want to say he seems mean, but you don't really know what he's about. He's a very like you can't really tell what's going on. He's got a good poker face. And so anyway, I kind of just had this feeling of like, is he into me? I don't know. And obviously when you're dating, there's this weird thing where if people are super, super into you, it usually works against you. It's like a turnoff. And then obviously if people are like super dismissive, like I'm not going to bother with that. So anyway, I couldn't tell what was going on with him. And we had dinner and we had decided to go to a movie after. So I think we took separate cars to the movie theater and we get out and this is in the parking lot. This is the beginning. And we are walking up to the movie theater and he puts his hand on the lower part of my back and his hands were trembling. And I knew he was mine. As soon as that happened, I was like, oh, he's done. And we have just been hanging out like every day ever since. And not that I haven't like wanted to murder him multiple times, and I'm sure him me, but it was this really, really sweet moment. And I remember it like it just happened 5 seconds ago. So there, on a really, really gross and sappy note, that is how we are going to wrap up this live stream. We have marriage advice. I'm not somebody you should. We talk about murdering each other. I don't think we're people who should be doling out advice. Anyhow, so we have episodes coming out, all sorts of really fun things. I'm, like I said, so excited for the next couple months that are coming. I hope you guys like this drapery episode and are looking forward to all of the other neat things that are coming. The tickle went away, by the way. This really dry cookie might have fixed it. Okay, anyway. Have a lovely evening. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again very soon. No, I'm not done. I take it back. There's something I have to tell you. I thought that sweet story was going to be a good wrap up, but I have a better one. So, in the episode that's coming out this month that you're going to see tomorrow or the next one, I'm wearing this pink dress that is it's really cute. It looks really great. I've worn it in one other thing, but I was dressed up, ready to do these talking points, and I got like stressed. Something was going on. I was like not feeling well. And I was trying to do something, and I leaned over, and the whole dress ripped open. And then I got mad, and I just went, like Hulk, like the Hulk, and the whole dress like came apart at the seams everywhere. And, and the captive was like, well, what are you gonna do? So we were filming the talking points and I was like, I guess we're not filming any more talking points today. And so I went that night, I took the dress into the sewing room and I sewed it all back together and fixed everything that had come apart and been ruined. And so when you watch this episode that's coming out, just keep in mind that like I'm like frozen in this like Frankenstein dress. So I just want you to know that when you see it. So until then, or like until the next time, take care of yourself and I'll see you again very soon.